What's going on, guys? This is Glass Parking Lot from the raiding party. This fucker right here.
I'm Lieutenant Major, also known as Lord Vorin.
We're going to take a look at something that's been haunting everybody's nightmares. It's the Razer OSVR. We're going to unbrick this shit. Let's do it. Really, bitch?
What the hell is she doing?
She's grinding ice. Alright, for reals though. This is the Razer OSVR. It's been out for a little while now. It's fucking awesome. I love it. It got shipped to me on May the 14th. I literally had this bastard for 4 days. Today, after all the research and everything that I've been looking through forums, threads, Reddit, everything, I finally figured out how to unbrick this shit. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I was setting up Steam VR on this thing, as I know a lot of other people have, and it gave me a red screen. To fix it, I had to unplug it, turn it back on. After that, it's just been black screen from there, won't do nothing. No communications port inside the device manager. It comes up and recognizes it as an unknown device with an exclamation mark, all that shit. Basically, it's the same story over and over and over with everybody that I've seen, everybody that I've talked to, everybody that I've looked at. It's just bricked. The firmware's corrupted on it. So, come to find out, this thing's got an Arduino board in it. With the Arduino board, there is reset buttons inside of it that you can use. Basically, what I assume it acts to short out 2 points on the board. Like you do with other Arduino boards. When you do that, it puts it back into bootloader. The computer recognizes it again and starts basically functioning again, so that you can pull the old firmware off of it that's corrupted and put the new firmware back into it and get this bitch back up and going again. We're going to do all that today. The first thing we're going to do is take the face plate off of it. There's 2 screws here on the bottom. One right there. Yeah. The front face plate, the infrared light array, it's all held on by magnets, and once we get that off and we get that red cable out of the way, then we'll be able to hit those buttons to reset the Arduino board and pretty much go from there. So let's get started.
Alright guys, I've turned into the cameraman for this part, so there's Glass, there's the OSVR.
And as you can see, this is the altar in which we pray to the OSVR, guys. Not really. Alright, so these are the screws that I was telling you about. Here, get in a little closer. You got one right there and one right there. We're going to take these little biatches out. Very carefully. Do not lose these screws. They would be a pain in the ass to replace. Firm but careful, because these screws were in kind of tight. You want to make sure you have a good fitting screwdriver too, that way you don't strip them out. Alright, now we gotta be very careful when we take this off. Oh yeah, alright. You can feel the magnets right there on the top. And you can see this is the infrared light array right here. You have to be very careful with this cable right here. It is delicate to the T. Alright, now, what you have to do, at this point, you would hook it up to the computer, and while you have it powered on and hooked up, okay, so hook it up USB 3.0 to the computer, and then have it powered up as well. You're going to hold down switch 2, press switch 1 and release, hold down switch 2 for a second, and then let it go. Again,
sorry, I'm having trouble focusing right there.
You're good. It's the camera. It's
go.
not the greatest in the world.
So that's which one he's pointing at right now?
No, this is switch 2 I'm pointing at.
Oh.
That's switch 1.
Okay, well, thank you for correcting me. Don't want to screw anybody up there.
And re-brick it? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, you're going to hold down switch 2. While you're holding down switch 2, you're going to press and release switch 1. And then you're going to let go of switch 2 about a second or two later. And that is that. I guess let's go ahead and move over to the computer, get this bitch loaded up, and see what we can't make it do. Okay, right quick before we move to the computer, just to let you guys know, these two screws came out, and it's almost like it was clipped in here. That is a magnet, and that is a magnet. You see that? That's what was holding the front plate here together, almost like a clasp. It's actually kind of ingenuitive how they did that. It's pretty neat. Alright, over to the computer for real this time.
This thing.
Oh, it's the lens duster thing.
Dusting the lens.
It's for the OSVR.
You said it was a lens duster. So I'm dusting the damn lens.
Razer thought of everything except for the firmware bricking, whatever. Alright, so now, once again, here's the board. It's got power and everything. This is switch 2. This is switch 1.
Hang on. Damn camera lost focus.
My potato camera. So, I'm going to hold down switch 2. Press in switch 1. Release. And then release switch 2. And there we go. It sounds like it just connected. Alright, so very quickly, before we get to the computer, I just realized that we're not going to need to be inside of this thing anymore. So, we're going to go ahead and put the faceplate back on to protect it, because I seem to be clumsy sometimes. So, again, be careful with this cable.
Why don't we move it over to the
Because it's got to
station?
stay hooked up to the computer at this time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that, dude.
Oh, look at that. Look at those infrared lights
Can you
flashing.
see it on that camera?
Oh, yes, I do. That is awesome. Look at how many there are.
I know, right?
Oh, my God. This thing is awesome, man.
They really made a good product, and I'm so glad that they thought ahead.
Well,
to
Razer
use
usually
that.
does make good products, man. It's just, they don't get the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah.
I mean, I use a Razer keyboard, man, and that thing's a badass.
Yeah.
All mechanical and everything.
Alright, here we are. Okay, so DFU ATX Mega 256A3 Bravo uniform. This right now is what we were looking for. Okay, so before we jump to that, first thing I wanted to show you, I know a lot of people are having a time trying to find the firmware for this thing. It's already on your computer. You don't have to go and download it somewhere. Open up your File Explorer, go to your C drive, make sure you unhide hidden folders, go to Users, your username for your computer, my name is Scott, App Data, Local, Apps, 2.0, this weird fucking looking thing. That's 37X H1NNZ.GKB. I don't think that's it. Oh, yeah, that was it. So 37X H1NNZ.GKB. And then this weird looking fucking thing. It's XJ42H52E.03W. And then you, depending on what you have installed on your computer, you should, before you start doing this, already have the drivers installed for it. You should have Flip installed, and you should have the OSVR control installed. I guess I'll drop the links down in the bits box below. But depending on what you have installed, I pretty much have everything installed, so I have all 4 of these right here. Just choose one out of the 3 is going to have it, at least 1 out of 3. Then you're going to be brought to something like this. If you go to driver, these are the Z site drivers for the OSVR. If you come here to versions, here is all of the firmware since 165. The one that I got was the newest one. I think it was 1.4. Is the 1192 OLED.hex. This is the one that I need. So, if you're following along, copy this, paste it to your desktop. And don't move it, because these files that are here may actually serve a purpose. I don't know. So we'll get that out of the way. Okay, and we're back. Alright, so now that you have this listed right here, first thing we're going to do, we are going to open up Flip. I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to throw that over here just so I can watch it. So let's start up Flip. I always run stuff as administrator. Okay, now, here we are in Flip. First thing we are going to do is click on this little EEPROM chip right here. This is going to be the target device. We're going to look for the same thing that we got inside of the BIOS, which is going to be this ATX Mega 256 A3BU. Make sure it is exactly the same. Click OK. Click on your USB icon. This is going to communicate to it. Click on USB. Tell it to open. And okay, and we're back. Okay, sorry. What you're going to have to do, if you get that where it says it can't open the USB, come back over here to your device manager. You remember it was down here somewhere, it said it had an exclamation mark. Let's pretend that this has an exclamation mark on it still, and it's still like, I can't fucking read it or whatever. Right click on it, do update driver software. Tell it to browse my computer for the driver software, and then this is where you want to be at. Right here. It's going to be your primary drive, which should be the C drive. It's going to be program files, x86 most likely, atmel, flip 3.4.7, and then it's going to be in the USB folder. Tell it next. It should pop up and say that it installed the driver successfully and everything's good. I already passed that. I'm at this point. I don't want to screw anything up by doing it again, so I'm going to hit cancel. Now we're going to open up Flip. Same thing. Go over to the little EEPROM chip, select the target device, ATX Mega 256 A3BU. Same thing we got here. Tell it OK. Over to USB. And then tell it to open. And here we go. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is get a readout on the corrupted firmware that's on here. So we are going to go to Buffer. We're going to go to Options. and then we're going to do whole buffer. Tell it OK. Then we're going to go to device. We're going to go to read. Tell it OK. Now we're going to go to file. Then we're going to go to file. And then we're going to choose save buffer as. Alright, find somewhere to put it at. Let's drop it to the desktop. Actually, I'm going to put it in here. And then we're going to give it a name. Let's go with up corrupted fucking firmware. And then tell it OK. And that file, if you want to, it would be a great help to the community and everybody. It would benefit everyone if you uploaded that to OSVR support, because at this point they don't really need all the help that they can get, but I mean, hell, it goes the extra mile, so you know. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is actually load the new firmware. So we're going to go to file, load hex file. You can see that I already have, actually the firmware that I copied to my desktop earlier, I copied to this OSVR firmware stuff folder that's on my desktop, so it's already here. And we're going to go with that. We're going to tell it OK. And then we're going to choose run. It's programming flash, verifying flash, verify pass. That is exactly what you're looking for. I have been troubleshooting on this for days. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, now pretty much from here, all we should have to do is basically just recycle the system, power cycle it, unplug the shit. Well, no, disconnect from the OSVR first. You don't want to be power cycling it while you're in the firmware. So we are going to power cycle it. We're going to shut it off. We're going to turn it back on, and hopefully we'll get a display on this.
Ah! Bright light.
Oh, you got it?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Oh, shit, that's bright.
Let me see that shit. Well, of course it's going to be bright. You've been looking at darkness for like 20 fucking minutes while I do this.
Let me adjust. There we go. Yeah, it's there. It is there, man. Ta-da.
Oh my god, that is beautiful.
Alright, just to show everybody that it worked, guys. There it is, right there. You see the illumination inside?
There it is. Fucking beautiful.
It is back on. And that confirms it. That is how you unbrick the OSVR. Congratulations, class.
Hey, I just hope it helps everybody out in the community, really, because I know that there's a lot of fuckers out there like me that's having the same problem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it took me like 4 days to research all this shit, dude, at least. It's been bricked for like a week, at least. So, like, I mean, well, I got it May 14th, had it 4 days, and then I've been researching it ever since.
Yeah.
There are no instructional videos on how to do this. I even asked Razer support directly in the email that they sent me. They were going to RMA this for me, but I figured out how to do it. I even asked them in the emails directly if there's a way to overwrite the firmware other than using the communications port or anything, then I would be more than happy, more than capable to do this myself. They just sent me back an RMA number. So, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, so there you go, guys.
Yeah.
OSVR is back up and going. I'm going to continue my fun. Now that I know how to do this, and now that you guys know how to do this, next time you brick your spend an hour, you'll have it back up and going. Hopefully, unless you totally bricked it somehow. I'm sure somebody will figure out a way to do that. And if they do, I'll be researching, trying to figure out how to do that again. So, we'll see you guys later.
Awesome.